of how to start an optometry practice. There's going to be a lot of overlap with the previous speaker, Preeti Singh Rekhi, that he has spoken quite well about the practice that is in the metro cities. He's concentrated and focused a lot on that. Now, as you are all budding optometrists wanting to start on your own, I think it would be not always focusing, or not all of us can afford to start a practice in cities. So I will start with something which is very basic, give you various models. Okay, before I go on to this, I usually ask, probably in the first or second year students, I ask them, why did you join optometry? Okay, and most often, the answer to it is, wanted to do medicine, but I did not score well, so, and then they stop. They don't answer anything beyond that. Somebody advised me to go ahead and take up this course. You're assured a job. So this is why quite a few of them have actually opted for optometry. When they are in their third years, I do ask them again sometimes, say, what next? Well, they're still clueless. Most of them are still clueless. There are some who say, sir, I would like to probably do masters after my course. And there are some, we say, maybe PhD after that. There are lots of them who say, we wish to continue working in the hospitals. There are few, very few actually wish to start a practice of their own or continue with the practice which parents have started or some relatives have started, and they want to go ahead and continue with that practice. Well, to start an optometry practice is, in other words, means that being your own boss, right? You're not going to take decisions or approvals from anybody else. So supposing you take a decision and say, and then you will have to go up, take an approval from your boss, asking him, so what lenses do I advise to this person? So those kind of approvals are not required when you start an optometry practice of your own. Well, private practices is a lot of work. You'll have to get into a lot of unfamiliar responsibilities which you're not used to. Those who succeed are those who want to be business owners in addition to being an optometrist. You will succeed if you're very passionate about optometry, and you also want to do business in this profession. Okay, you got to have a business knowledge even before you start a practice. The knowledge which you'll probably have to seek, learning through some courses, to learn and make more money than you spend. You'll have to learn. Actually, when we were in our college, we were taught accounting. That's the basic accounting knowledge. We always used to wonder when we were studying as to why are we doing maths, why are we doing communication, why are we doing these courses of accounting? But we were taught in all these. Okay, so in accounting, you should have a good knowledge about at least capital account, balance sheets, profit and loss statements, the GST rules and regulations, and the miscellaneous expenses that you'll all have. Okay, and try, if at all you're starting a practice of your own, try and have an HR agency to help you get some good staff to manage your tasks in this profession. Well, marketing plan, I think Mr. Rao has actually spoken quite well about certain marketing plans. I might give you just another tip or two a little further down my talk. To start an optometry practice, the most important that you'll have to do is seek guidance from your seniors and teachers, the ones you trust, who you know will advise you appropriately in what to do. They will have an idea how good you are and in what way you can take it forward in that. The young ladies, actually, most of them in optometry.
Not right. That's a very sexist slide.
No. All right? They take up or they often prefer to work. Okay, now if you say sex is this thing, but tell me how many ladies start their own practice, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Voice. Order, yes. Okay. So most of them, because they prefer to work in hospitals only because they're not sure where they would end up post-marriage. Okay, but the young gentlemen, they still want to experiment, say, I think I have an option, let me try to start an optometry practice of my own. So there are different models of optometry practice. Now I have this first one, model 1, which is going to be just probably basic refraction, which many of us have actually started with. I know a lot of my students who have started with just very, very basic refraction and dispensing contact lenses. Vision therapy was not there much, but nowadays, yes, people do concentrate on saying, let me add this small services in my practice. But most of them have focused on starting an optical along with the optometry clinic, which is going to be a very, very small portion of it. So the earnings from your optometry clinic part is a very small sum, whereas from the opticals, it is going to be a lot more. And that's the way they support themselves in an optometry setup. Lots of us have gone through this, and this is how we've grown. The second model would actually be an optometry clinic with a comprehensive eye examination center, wherein they would also concentrate on contact lenses and specialty contact lenses, low vision aids, vision therapy, etc., and also get some bit of support from the opticals. The focus is not as much in the optical side, but they would be passionate about the comprehensive eye exam and the work they do on the optometry clinic part. The third will be the specialty optometry only, along with the optometric diagnostic clinics. Well, it is questionable here in this case, what's the kind of returns that we would get? This is actually going to be okay and might work in cities or metro cities, but may not work in small towns. So let's see the pros and cons a little later. I would just run you through how to start an optometry practice, just having 3 models of this. You should be working in a practice, the kind you like to be, or the kind you would like to have. What are you going to learn there? The first and the most important thing you're going to be learning there is to learn how to communicate. There's a lot from this communication skills that you'll have to learn. How people talk to their clients or patients, how they take their history, okay? And whatever services you're providing to them, how you communicate is a very, very important thing. There are a lot of young optoms who, after finishing their internship and then they step out, most of them don't know the products that are available to them in the field or in the market. Be it the contact lenses, be it the spectacle lenses, not many are aware of it. Please do get aware by working in practices where you think would be best for you. When you're joining those practices, please do make sure to let your employer know that your interest is to start a practice. Don't hide, saying just, I would probably be here for many, many years with you. Tell them, I'd probably go ahead, work with you for 2 years, and I would like to start a practice of my own. Be truthful to your employer. Okay, the third is to learn everything about dispensing and problem solving, to learn about accounting, to learn ordering of goods for the business. This is all some things that you will have to learn from a practice where you would like to work or wish to work. It is important to note that don't be very selfish in only trying to understand and learn for yourself, but also give back something in return to them. Implement something, your own ideas. Tell the employer that let's do something of this kind, let's see if it works. It's also an experiment for the employer as well as for yourself. You will get to know whether it's going to work or you're not going to be, it's not going to work in your practice too. Okay, note every small detail of managing the practice, replicate what you like the most. Whatever you've learned and you say, this is working out the best, replicate this kind of a setup even in your practice. List out the instruments that you wish to have and you're confident in using them. Yes, as Preeti Singh Rekhi said, that there are a lot of instruments lying in all over the place, but hardly being put to use. Don't invest on those kind. Don't invest on those kind of instruments. Yes, this is going to be an overlap. Plan every detail, yes, and it's about the location. The commercial area that you're going to be setting up, you got to have an idea about the residential area around it, the population around it, okay? And try and have a setup at the ground level. Not on the first floor, the mezzanine floor, the basements. If you have an opportunity to get a setup or a workspace at the ground level, please do consider that as one of the most appropriate points. I would probably, I'm going to read up a little bit from this. I don't wish to miss out on any points. Now, if you are going to be starting an optometry practice, which is of this type, Model 1, and then a very basic one, many of us, when we start this kind of a practice, we just pay very less interest in the optometry clinic. So we give that a very small space, just about 60 to 70 square feet. Then you will be picking up a very basic equipments for this, such as the chair unit, the ophthalmic chair unit, which hosts your autorefractometer with K maybe, a trial set, a trial frame, a retinoscope, and a direct ophthalmoscope, which you probably will already have. Besides this, you'll also have a distance vision drum, a near vision chart, a torchlight, and of course, this is how many of us would have started. Once you gain in a little bit of income or money for yourself, the next thing that you should be buying is a slit lamp. Please do invest on a slit lamp. Many optometrists who are just about beginning to practice do not have slit lamps in their clinics. The reason they say is, I don't know how to use them. Okay, they're really not exposed to it. You will learn if you keep one. It is like somebody giving you a binocular and saying, okay, take a look through it. First few times you would probably struggle. But over a period of time, if you have to sit through in front of a slit lamp, look at the structures, keep improving your ability to focus on certain things, you will automatically learn. It's not that you have to go through a course to understand how to use a slit lamp. Use it because you have it. Make sure you impress your patients by using a slit lamp. Okay, the investment, very basic investment for just the optometry clinic would still be approximately anywhere around 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs. Now for the opticals, yes, you need a lens meter, you would need a PD meter, and a software if possible, with a basic computer and a printer. These are things that are actually very impressive, saying that you are quite systematic when you're dealing with the optical store. The size of the optical store is usually at least about 4 times bigger. Investment on spectacle frame is moderate to high, depending on the location that you have actually put yourself in. Then you have the manpower that's one for the optometry clinic, it is going to be yourself, whereas for the opticals, you'll need some salespeople who are going to get trained. Now, this model can actually be budgeted anywhere around 30 to 40 lakhs. That's an investment on the real estate, the rentals, the advance, and all those works. Then the furniture and fixtures, you can still bracket in anywhere between 30 to 40. This, I would say, would be a better way to start in tier 3 cities. You could probably have a larger space to work with. A good setup like this, your return on investment is at least guaranteed. All right, if you were to take a small space and put these same kind of equipments in a metro city, it may not work. It's like you getting about 500 square feet or so in a tier 3 city versus just about 200 square feet and trying to implement and try to get good return on investment. You're likely to fail in the metro cities as compared to the tier 3 cities. Your second one, the model, which is going to be what we all would dream of when we start our basic practice, is going to be an optometry clinic, which is going to be focusing more on optometry workups. That's the comprehensive eye examination. This kind of practice is basically going to be concentrating on not only refractions, but also assessing the health of the eyes and also binocular vision. The equipments that we would probably require here would be an excellent good slit lamp, a good tonometer, an indirect ophthalmoscope, contact lens trial sets if you're going to be concentrating on specialty contact lenses. Again, the costings would go up. Vision therapy equipments, the low vision sets, and of course the software to maintain the electronic medical records. Such practices should be having at least about 2 to 3 clinics. It's not just one small clinic in one place, 2 to 3 clinics manned by about 2 to 3 optometrists, and a smaller setup or an equal sized setup for the optical store, which is going to be concentrating on the brands. I think this is where a lot of my colleagues who I know are presently practicing in this kind of a setup at the moment. The investment for these kind of practices today would be anywhere between 1 CR to 2 CRs depending on the optical setup that they have and the other equipments that they would probably own. This model will actually work best with one owner sharing his profits with the specialty optometrists working along with him. Okay? You have the third part, the model 3, specialty optometry. I think there are a lot of people who have now reached the model 2 would look forward to having a super specialty optometry clinic, which is going to be only specialists working on probably the vision therapy, the specialty contact lenses. Very few actually would like to have on low visual aids. This practice can also have a complete optometry diagnostic clinics, which means you will be investing a lot on maybe the retinal imaging system, the OCT, the visual field analyzers, etc. Here, you wouldn't need many sales staff or anybody for that matter, just the optometrists and a good receptionist also managing the business aspects of it. These kind of setups need not always be at the ground level. It could probably go on to the first level where your real estate or the rentals are going to be much lesser. And you need a team of optometrists to run this kind of a practice, who are willing to invest on the equipments which cost quite a bit. So you can have them run these kind of practices with a lot of referrals. And who are the people who are going to refer them for these kind of practices? It's usually the opticians. Okay? You have the private ophthalmologist, the small ophthalmologist who is like practicing for many, many years in one place, but he says, let me just get certain tests done. There are a lot of ophthalmologists who think like us, if I send my case to another person, he may not come back to me, right? But getting referrals from eye hospitals is nil in these kind of setups. The investments that you would look at in these kind of practices, a little over 2 crores. Okay, marketing plan, I think Mr. Rao has actually touched upon quite a bit. To begin whatever kind of practice, please do approach healthcare practitioners around the location wherever you have started. Introduce yourself with a letter and your credentials and the services that you are providing. These healthcare practitioners actually send most often to your clinic for managing their kids or patients who complain about headaches. Well, as Preeti Singh Rekhi said, there are quite a few people who would want to let go their practices. So, taking over an existing practice is another option that you all have. Optometrists born around the 1965 to 75 are now thinking and planning about retirement. Join hands with these guys. I am. Don't look at that. I am. I'm retiring soon. Okay? The benefits of this is there is an existing revenue stream, and you probably get a prime location with the low rentals because the rentals have been just escalating with small percentage of increase. Now your task when you join hands with these kind of practices is you got to bring in the new modality of growth, that is the specialty practice. Those guys may be just doing very basic refractions and managing their practices. And then you'll also have to boom it up with some sophisticated marketing, which Mr. Rao actually told us. Hope many of you will start your successful optometry practices soon. Good luck with it, folks.